I'm calling this game Never Give Up because I lost my queen. We had this really busy opening. Look at this.
Kingside castle in.
They're all coming out to play. Strange little pawn move there he made with that c pawn.
Inside castle in.
And a very higgledy-piggledy, odd-looking opening, which I honestly couldn't understand or get my head round. I was just trying to find ways of maybe winning a quantum here or a quantum there, but actually, and this was really odd, this interlacing, interlocked middle. But actually what happened is quite pretty, but it was, at the same time, it's a bit of a bloody mess. Now, I still felt here that I had the quantum. I didn't understand why I didn't, to be honest, but look what happened. He takes pawn. I recapture. Well, that was fatal. I shouldn't have recaptured there. I should have recaptured there. That's where I went wrong. So he takes pawn. I recaptured with the wrong piece, and he wins a piece. Now I captured there, and yeah, capture that. Apart from the possibility of a reveal on his knight by my queen, which never materialised, I've got nothing. So a bit annoying. I could have, perhaps I could have done something like this next. That might actually have paid off in the long run. But it's a bit thin gruel. I don't know. Might have worked. Yeah, might have worked. But anyway, that's not what happened. What happened was he came here. Even more nonsense, more threats. And this, potentially winning the knight, I don't know. But he would want to get the pieces whittled down now. So I did this instead. We'd try to hem the knight in. I've got this check available with his bishop that could potentially win that rook. So his bishop hides, but I think I've still got it. Because look, I come over here, and that was a bad idea. It was the wrong square. So I was trying to pin my knight there. He brings his knight out to this odd square. And now I'm here. I quite like this, actually. Because I've got check. Threatens the rook. Captures. I capture. And now the threat is of mate, and with practically no escape. There is no escape. The only move he can make really is that. And I captured with the pawn. Don't know if that was the right move. It felt like the right move. Of course, we've got potential king-queen forks with my rook, but he's got another rook there, so I'd have to double up first. Now he moves his knights are actually quite defanged at the moment by my triple of pawns there on the queen side. So now look, just updating this help for this pawn here, and I didn't see that at all. Didn't see that. I was too busy looking at how his knights were attacking pawns that he couldn't take. I didn't see that he'd attacked my queen. And so at this point, you'd think the game would be over, wouldn't you? I mean, 2 rooks for a rook, a queen, and a knight. And a single pawn I've got ahead. So it's not going to last long. But look, queen comes down to here attacking the pawn. And I can get my rooks onto the 7th rank. Well, that's something. That is a bit of a booby prize. Consolation prize, I suppose I should say. Comes up here, now this. Really, I suppose he should be looking to try and exchange rooks now, but he kind of can't really do it the way things are right now. So he brings his rook to here. And I can nick a pawn. But I've got now the threat of being back ranked is quite looming large, so he does this, and that is looming large now, so I bring one of my rooks back. Now, it's not good not to have your rooks linked, especially when there's a queen running around. You can easily fork it with checks and things, so Look, the knight comes here, so that gives me the chance not only to nick this pawn, but also it frees this rook to be able to slide back down by a back door route to link up with the other rook potentially. So we're going to come down like this, and now you see these two rooks are skewering or spearing between them the knight. Of course, if the knight moves off of this square, then he is automatically covering that very square and thus preventing my rooks from pairing up on that square, the e4 square. So that's just an interesting thought. See, now he's covering that very square that I might want to pair up on. But I can attack the knight. But instead, I just thought I'll attack the queen instead, actually, using the rook to back up that pawn. And actually, she's not that comfortable right now. Down she keeps coming. And now back up to the 7th rank with this rook.
Check.
With the knight. So the idea is that I can get my rooks linked back together again on the 7th rank if I have to, or potentially, possibly on the e-file, with some threats of checking his king, possibly with a rook exchange if I really have to, but the apps start running my pawns up, these queenside pawns, they could actually potentially queen. So he comes with this check. Obviously I can't take that knight because of the pin. Over I come.
Check.
He checks again.
Check.
And now we're looking at a potential check by repetition. He doesn't seem to be able to find a way to mate here, which is a bit of a surprise really, because I would have thought...
Check.
Is that not checkmate? Oh no, because of the rook, yeah.
Check.
Yeah, so he hasn't got a checkmate available. And he kind of gets bored and takes this pawn absent-mindedly. Oops. Forgetting that it was marked by rook. And he does make one more move, which is a very odd move, because actually from here, well, my next move should have been this, because now his knight is absolutely trapped. But I moved here instead with just the idea of just forcing an exchange of rooks. It's a rook and pawns against the knight. Anyway, he resigned after making that bizarre knight move. I suppose he was... I don't know what he was thinking of doing, but I suppose he could have done that on the next move, but then it's just holidays. I don't know what I mean by that, but it sounded right. So there we are. Never give up, because I lost my queen, and look at what happened. I won.